Is regular drinking getting you down? Are you worried about how much you drink? Maybe you don't drink every day, but when you do, the memory loss, the guilt and the shame is really starting to affect the quality of your life. Does it seem those promises you make to yourself the morning after the night before to drink less just don't quite happen? And this makes you feel really bad about yourself. And maybe there is even a deeper fear that maybe you have to quit altogether, and that scares you. And the actual thought of having to say goodbye forever to your delicious wine or ice-cold beers is a place you really don't want to go to. I guess when you were younger, drinking a lot was cool, but maybe not so cool now that you're older. Maybe deep down you know that drinking too much is damaging your health, but what do you do? Where do you go if you know you don't belong in those, weekly meetings, and you don't want to go into long-term therapy? And ultimately, I'm assuming that you don't want to quit alcohol altogether. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this presentation right now. What if you could conquer the binge drinking and become an awe-inspiring healthy drinker and still sip your delicious beer, wine, or whatever you like to drink without the guilt, the shame, and the hangovers? Did you know drinking too much has absolutely nothing to do with alcohol? It may seem a weird thing to say, but it is the truth. And I will show you why when you watch this entire presentation. You see, I get it. I used to be the big Aussie boozer who partied hard and thought when I was older, and apparently wiser, that I would just drink less. But sadly, my heavy drinking just got worse, and I mean really worse. Without going into too much detail, I've been in hospital with broken ribs from falling downstairs drunk. I've ended up asleep at the end of a railway line, being woken up by the station master yelling at me that I was a stupid, irresponsible girl and that I should go home. And that was at 1:30 a.m. I spent some crazy amounts of money on alcohol I just didn't really enjoy, but I still drank it. Why? Because I was socially shy and I wanted to be liked. Drinking calmed my nerves, and it made me feel more confident too. Okay, I was known as the party girl, but deep down I knew I was drinking too much. And deep down I knew it was a problem. But I just couldn't stop the vicious cycle of drinking too much and too often. I just couldn't imagine my life without alcohol, because I did enjoy drinking, but I knew it wasn't in healthy quantities. All I remember thinking back then was, if I get out of this hole of crazy binge drinking, if I could find a way to control my drinking rather than having to quit, then I could help those like me who are worried about their drinking, but just don't want to stop altogether. My question was to myself, how can I do this? Where do I start? Is this honestly possible?